Welcome to the realm of astrology. This is your daily horoscope for June 13th, 2021, which is a Sunday. I'll try to keep it as short as possible today because it's a Sunday. However, I do want to mention that today is a very intense day. But before we talk about the energy for today, I would like to let you know that I do daily video horoscopes, weekly video horoscopes, monthly video horoscopes, and monthly sun rising sign video horoscopes. You can watch them all on my channel on YouTube or on my website called www.realmofastrology.com. Now that being said, please hit the subscribe button. Alright, so let's begin. So today is the Sun-Neptune square, today is the Venus-Uranus sextile, and we are building up into the Saturn-Uranus square, which is tomorrow and the day after, depending on where you're at in the world. And we will talk about all these things, but before that I want to talk about the Moon-Pluto opposition. We'll talk about the moon a little bit and then we'll move on to the bigger aspects. So let's talk about the moon. The moon at about 4 a.m. Pacific time, the moon's right here in the sign of Cancer, is going to oppose Pluto. Okay, and the moon is our emotional body, it's our inner heart and soul, and Pluto is catharsis, it's regeneration, it's rebirth, it's transformation, it's total transformation. That's what Pluto is. And this can happen through the end of something, or it can happen through healing something. That's what Pluto is. And in this case, the Pluto and the moon are opposing each other, making a 180-degree angle, which is considered challenging in astrology. So this could be a moment where we are forced to, I say forced because the aspect is challenging. It's in opposition. We are required to transform a part of our emotional body, a part of our emotions. And this could very well be a certain pattern that we have emotionally, certain thoughts that we may have connected to our emotions. Pluto works in very subconscious ways. It's a planet of the subconscious mind as well. It rules our psychology. So the transformation that we feel will be very deep in our subconscious, and this is connected to our emotions. Perhaps there's an emotional pattern that we keep repeating again and again and again, and this is the time we let go of it. And I think this is a powerful time to let go of those emotions or transform them or heal our emotions. And why do I say that? I say that because we had a powerful new beginning on June 10th with the new moon solar eclipse. So that's a new beginning, and that's also a chance to end the old ways of being emotionally. So that's the first thing. Then the next thing I want to talk about is also pertaining to the moon, and it happens about noon. So at about noon Pacific time, the moon is going to change signs. It's going to enter the sign of Leo. And the moon changes signs every 2.5 days. And when it changes signs, the focus, the energy of our life, of our day-to-day life shifts in some ways. In Cancer, for the past 2.5 days, we've been focusing on our emotions, on our deepest emotions, on taking care of ourselves, on nourishing ourselves, on our family, on our roots, on where we come from. And now in Leo, we're going to focus on our heart, on love, on doing things that give us pleasure, on our hobbies perhaps, on some creative projects. However, the moon in Leo will conjunct Mars and oppose Saturn. Alright, so let's talk about Mars first, because that happens as soon as the moon changes signs. There, about 2 p.m. Pacific time, the moon is going to meet up Mars. Now the moon, as I said, is our emotions, and Mars is a planet of aggression. It's a planet of let's do this now. It's a planet of our willpower, of our drive. It can also cause frustration. And when Moon and Mars come together, it could go 2 ways. One, it instills your emotions with courage, with willpower, with drive, with the readiness to take action, or it can cause frustration. It can cause anger. In either situation, the intensity of Mars will be felt when it comes to our emotions. And in this case, it's best to to channel the Mars energy in a positive way. If it's not the positive manifestation for you, which I mentioned, which is about instilling your emotions with drive, courage, willpower, all those things, and it's negative, if you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling angry, then it's best to channel it in a positive way. And Mars is the athlete, okay? So sports is the domain of Mars. So getting a workout in or playing some sports or just releasing that energy will prevent the frustration, the anger from coming in. Okay, now I'm going to move on. And okay, before that, I do want to mention it doesn't happen today, but it is going to happen in the next year or so. And that's the fact that the moon, the moon here will oppose Saturn when it comes to 13 degrees. It's not happening today. It'll probably happen tomorrow. And this energy does always feel a little difficult. And on that day, as the moon will get ready to oppose Saturn, we will have the Saturn-Uranus square come exact or exactly about to come exact. So the intensity of June 14th is extremely, extremely high. And I want to prepare you from now, because we are feeling the intensity. For those who are watching for the first time, June 14th, we have the Saturn-Uranus square. Now, this energy happens once in 21 years. Not once in 21 years, but it's happening after 21 years. And it's the friction between the old and the new. And it's a very intense energy. This energy is about getting rid of old things, old thought patterns, old traditions, old anything that's preventing you from being your authentic self. And it's also about embracing your authentic self. And this process is difficult because these planets are squaring 90-degree angle, and we'll be in this energy all year and even into next year. So what I'm trying to say right now is, while the moon is going to be in Leo for the next 2.5 days, we will have the Saturn-Uranus square, and the moon will not only oppose Saturn, make a 180-degree angle, it will also square Uranus. A lot of intensity, a lot. And this is coming from a day after the Sun-Neptune square, because that's happening today, June 13th, right? Which we will talk about. So this energy can feel very intense with Mars in Leo, with the moon just conjunct Mars. There can be anger, there can be frustration, there can be things coming out of nowhere because Uranus is involved, and we still have Mercury retrograde. So from now till June 15th, let's just be safe and say June 15th, the energy is super intense, and it's best not to act or react and just go with the flow. Observe, go with the flow. Know that there's a lot of intensity. Know that there's a lot happening in the background, and just not react and not act and not take decisions. Okay, now moving on, let's talk about the Neptune-Sun square. Now, this energy is very intense. These planets are in a 90-degree angle, and it could go either of two ways. Any energy can go either of two ways. Either it can have its positive manifestation or its negative manifestation. The positive manifestation of Sun square Neptune is that we can really feel spiritually connected in our identity, in our soul. We can feel who I am becoming is in line with my spiritual path. That's Sun-Neptune, the positive manifestation of feeling completely aligned with your spirituality at a soul level. But the negative manifestation of this energy is feeling depressed, feeling totally confused, not being able to see things clearly, being very, very sensitive. Not that being sensitive is a negative thing, but this is sensitivity to things you wouldn't be sensitive towards otherwise. So that's the energy for today. And in lieu of this, if it's the negative manifestation, it's best not to react. It's best not to take decisions. Why? Because you're probably not seeing things clearly. it's probably an overreaction because Neptune can do that. So just best to let the energy pass. And let's talk about the next thing. Okay, I'm going to have to move the chart back a little bit. I should have showed this to you before, but let me show it to you now. There. Okay. So we have the Venus-Uranus sextile, which is also in square to Chiron. 60-degree angle to Uranus, 90-degree angle to Chiron. And I spoke about this yesterday also. This is a sudden change to our projects, to our finances, to our self-worth, values, skills, love, business partnerships, relationships, legal issues. Sudden positive change. Unexpected positive change. However, with a square to Chiron, this does involve a bittersweet healing element because Chiron is healing, but the healing process of Chiron does not feel easy. That being said, I do feel there is no bittersweetness involved. I do believe that this is positive. There is a healing aspect to this change that's going to take, and it's going to be positive. And let me talk a little bit more about the Saturn-Uranus square because we are building up into it, and that is the energy that we are feeling. I'm feeling it. I don't know if you are feeling it, but I'm definitely feeling it. So Uranus is here and Saturn is here, and they're going to come exact, right? Right on June 14th. And the Venus sextile to Uranus and the Venus square to Chiron is happening as this Saturn-Uranus square is in the background. And to me, this means that as we embrace the new, as we embrace our uniqueness, as we embrace our authentic self, it is going to yield a positive outcome in our love, relationships, money, projects, business, finances, self-worth, values, skills, all Venus-related things, while healing our identity, Chiron in Aries. And this process, since they're in a square, is not the most comfortable. But anything that requires change does not feel comfortable. Anytime you have to get out of your comfort zone, it does not feel comfortable. And that's what a square is. Getting out of your comfort zone to make change happen. So yeah, that's all the energy for today. I would not say today is a build-up. I would say the intensity is here today. The Sun-Neptune square is the beginning of that intensity. The moon entering the sign of Leo. Typically, I would say moon in Leo is great. We just want to have fun when the moon is in Leo. We want to focus on our hobbies. We get creative. However, the moon in Leo this time is going to conjunct Mars, which it has today. It's going to oppose Saturn and square Uranus, while the Saturn-Uranus square is almost exact. So there's a lot of intensity building today. It starts today. And in lieu of that, it's best not to react. It's best not to take decisions and best not to act in any which way till at least June 15th, but I would go ahead and say till even June 22nd because that's when Mercury comes out of retrograde. So that's pretty much the energy, and now I'll give you a little bit of the background. And I did speak about the Saturn-Uranus square in the video, so I'm not going to touch upon that, but I will talk about the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. These planets conjuncted in Jan of 2020, and they conjunct once in 33 to 38 years. And when they conjunct, we begin a new cycle. But in Jan of 2020, they conjuncted in Capricorn, which is the sign that rules our material reality, which means in a very powerful way, they changed our material reality. And we will be in this new cycle till 2053, till Saturn and Pluto conjunct again in the sign of Pisces. And I did mention it in one of my daily videos that this change that we saw in January of 2020 will completely reveal itself by June 24th of this month. Yeah, June 24th. Because that's when we have the full moon in Capricorn. So whatever started, the changes that started, will fully become visible to us, will be illuminated in their full power on June 24th. The next thing I want to talk about is the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction. Now this is known as the Great Conjunction, and these planets meet once in 20 years. And this time they met up in December of 2020 and they met up in the sign of Aquarius. Now, this is a rare event because for the past 200 years they've been meeting in earth signs, right? Now, Aquarius is an air sign. Why is all this relevant? It's relevant because when these planets meet up in earth signs, the focus of our reality is on earth things. What is that? Finding stability, finding material security, about food, about shelter, about agriculture, about doing things from this earth. But now in air, the focus shifts toward intellectual pursuits, science, technology, internet, equality, peace, humanity. These are the issues that we will focus on more in the next 20 years. And wherever this conjunction happened in your chart, look at 0 degrees of Aquarius in your chart, it happened there. There in that house, in those areas of your life, you'll have a new beginning. A beginning that will stay with us till 2040, and a beginning whose base we will set for the next 2 years. And the last thing I want to touch upon are the nodes. The North Node is in Gemini and the South Node is in Sag. The nodes are karmic, which means they bring back karma. Every time they're in the same placement, and they were in the same placement between 2001 and 2003. So they might be bringing up some karmic things from that time in your life. Now, these could be situations, these could be people, these could be similar themes and events. And the purpose of that is for you to either close them out completely, review them, or build on them and take them forward into your life. So that's all the background, and now I will pick a card for the day. So let's do that. Okay. It says clean it up. Clean it up. And I think this is referring to the Moon-Pluto opposition. The first thing that we spoke about. The Moon opposed Pluto, and I said that this is a pattern that we might need to end, transform, or get rid of an emotional pattern. Perhaps we need to clean that pattern out of our emotional being. Clean up the mess. Because Pluto is transformation, it is endings, it is catharsis. And catharsis, when you release something, it is a cleanup of your emotions. And I think this is what that is referring to. There's a pattern that's been repeating emotionally. If there is some emotional thought that's holding you back, it could be anything. It could be something very small. But sometimes it's the smallest things that hold us back. It could be a fear that we have. Pluto is also fears. Right? So it could be an insecurity we have about ourselves. Am I good? Am I good enough? Will I have success? Or it could be anything. Or I'm just giving examples, if you have a tendency to react in a certain way when a certain topic comes up, maybe you want to change that or address that. So cleaning up a certain part of our emotions, transforming a certain part of our emotions that is not serving us anymore is the energy for the day. And this is an internal process. Like I said, Pluto is subconscious. This cleanup is an internal process. And this could very well be also connected to the Saturn-Uranus square. Because like I said, we have to get rid of old things, old structures, old thought patterns, old anything, and embrace the new. And that's a cleanup. When you get rid of the old, ready for the new to come into your life, that's a cleanup too. But this is internal. This is not a reactive process. This is a subconscious, reflective process. Because Mercury is still retrograde. Mercury retrograde is reflection. So that's all I'll say for today. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Again, if you like this video, do hit the subscribe button and have a great day. Bye.